So we wanted to take a few minutes to highlight the results of some recent surveys, and along the way describe some trends in AI and highlight some of the upcoming talks at the conference. So first, as many of you are aware, AI and machine learning are extremely active research areas. And for the most part, that research is being done out in the open. The website archive.org, a very popular online website for preprints, had an average daily upload of 100 machine learning papers in 2018. And all that research is being translated to patent filings. I was fortunate enough to take part in a recent study by the World Intellectual Patent Office. And as you can see, the rate of patent filings is also growing very fast. And this reinforces the notion that we have entered the implementation phase for AI technologies. In fact, there was a six-fold increase in annual patent filings over the 12-year period spanning from 2006 to 2017. And in fact, 53% of all the patents in AI were filed after 2013. Drilling down into specific areas, computer vision, as many of you are aware, there are many startups and many commercial use cases now of computer vision. And we will have a lot of sessions about computer vision at this conference.
Now, it's been an extremely productive year for researchers in natural language. Every few months, it seems like, there seem to be new deep learning models that establish records in many different natural language tasks and benchmarks. Much of this research was done in the open, accompanied by open source code of pre-trained models, which is great for the entire community. And we are already seeing companies begin to tune these models for their specific domains and applications. There are many sessions on text, speech, and natural language at this conference, including a talk on transfer learning today by David Lowe of Panda AI. We continue to see improvements in tools for deep learning as well. Our surveys show that TensorFlow and PyTorch remain the most popular libraries. Now, what framework are practitioners and companies using? A recent study by UC Berkeley Rise Lab shed some light on this question. For each month, they looked at the number of questions posted on Stack Overflow tagged with each framework. Stack Overflow, if you recall, is a question and answer site for programmers. TensorFlow is clearly the more popular framework from January 2017 through the end of April of this year, 2019. And this afternoon, Tiezhen Wang of Google will give a talk outlining what's new for TensorFlow 2.0. Now, what framework are researchers using? The same study by UC Berkeley Rise Lab shed some light on this question. So for each month, they looked at the number of papers now posted on arXiv that mention each framework. And from January 2017 through December 2018, TensorFlow was the most cited work among researchers. But things are beginning to shift. By April 2019, PyTorch surpassed TensorFlow. To the extent that researchers are early indicators, look for PyTorch to also gain users among practitioners and companies. Joe Spizak of Facebook will be joining us, and he will give an update on the current state of PyTorch tomorrow morning.
So in our recent survey that drew over 1,300 respondents, about 22% signaled that they are beginning to use reinforcement learning. So there are many reasons for this, but one of the main reasons is that we just have more tools, open source, proprietary, and cloud services for doing RL. So we have a couple of keynote speakers over the next 2 days who will talk about reinforcement learning, including Professor Ion Stajka from UC Berkeley Rice Lab and Professor Tim Kraska of MIT.
Last year, we began tracking many startups building specialized hardware for deep learning and AI, both for training and inference, and both for use in edge devices as well as data centers. Towards the latter part of this year, we expect some of these companies to begin releasing hardware that will greatly accelerate both training and inference while being much more energy efficient. At this conference, we have a few talks on next-generation hardware, including keynotes by Eitan Medina of Habana and Michael James of Cerebras. Now, this is all the beginning to translate into actual investments. Now, in our past recent survey, we found that over 60% of companies were planning to invest at least some of their IT budget into AI. but the level of investment depends on how much experience a company already has with AI technology. As you can see from this slide, those with mature practices plan to invest a more sizable portion of their IT budget into AI, and as a result, there's a strong likelihood that the gap between leaders and laggards will widen in this space.
So what is holding back adoption of AI? So according to our survey, the answer depends also on the level of maturity. Those who are getting started still struggle with finding use cases or explaining the importance of AI and machine learning to their fellow employees. On the other hand, those with mature practices struggle with things like lack of data and lack of skilled people.
As the use of AI technologies grows within companies, we will need better tools for machine learning development and tools that can automate many stages of a machine learning pipeline. At this conference, we have many talks on automation and data platforms, including a talk on AutoML by Hui Sui of Microsoft this afternoon, and a talk from Rakuten tomorrow on best practices for building a data science team. Now, with the shift towards the implementation of machine learning, it's natural to expect that tools targeted at helping companies with ML practices will start to improve as well. As you can see, we are beginning to track the many companies and open source projects for model development, governance, and operations. And these are all active areas for researchers and entrepreneurs. So expect rapid progress in the next 12 months.
Now, companies are realizing that machine learning and AI involve much more than optimizing individual business or statistical metrics. And we have many speakers over the next 2 days who will explain various techniques that are being used to develop responsible AI.
In one recent survey, we found many companies are beginning to check for things like explainability, fairness and bias, security and privacy, safety and reliability. In fact, many of these topics are very active areas of research, and much of that research is being translated into new tools and best practices. We have a few talks on these topics, including a session this afternoon on federated learning by Alex Ingerman of Google. So check that out.
We are also seeing companies begin to retrain their workforce on topics pertaining to AI and machine learning. So here are some high-level results from a recent analysis we did of content usage on the O'Reilly Learning platform. So for those of you who are not familiar, subscribers to O'Reilly Learning have access to books, live online training, and video. So let's examine the largest topics on O'Reilly Learning in terms of content usage from January to May 2019. In this chart, the size of a square is a proxy for the popularity of a topic. The color of a square reflects the rate of growth, where green means the topic is growing and red means the topic is smaller in 2019 compared to what it was in 2018. And as you can see, there are many topics related to AI, machine learning, and data among the most popular topics. Now, among the trending topics, we also see quite a few that are related to AI, machine learning, and data. So all of these are early signs that companies and employees are beginning to update their skills for the AI and machine learning era.
To summarize, we are in the implementation phase for AI and machine learning. Tools are improving, use cases and case studies are being shared more widely, and companies and employees are beginning to update their skills. As we noted earlier, one sign that companies are taking AI seriously is to look at the growth in patents. Computer vision, which is the topic of several keynotes and sessions here over the next 2 days, is by far the most popular application area for current AI technologies. Many companies have long collected text as well, and many have experience with using NLP and text mining tools. Recent progress in deep learning for language models will also surely result in many new and interesting applications within that space. And don't forget that we are still in the early days for speech applications. But even at this stage, we are already seeing many interesting consumer and enterprise applications emerge.
So we are still in the early stages of machine learning and AI within companies. Tools to track and manage experiments and end-to-end machine learning pipelines are beginning to appear. We look forward to tools for building the AI applications of tomorrow. And I encourage you to walk around the expo hall, as many of our sponsors might already have what you need. And in fact, we have an academic project here at the conference from MIT called North Star. It's located near the O'Reilly booth, so I encourage you to check out this MIT project. So we have another outstanding program for you over the next 2 days. There will be many sessions on topics that are critical to sustaining the use of AI within your organizations. But as much as we love the program as conference organizers, we encourage you to network with other people at the conference. So with speakers, with the companies in the expo hall, as well as with your fellow attendees. And just to highlight the importance of networking, we've arranged so that many of our keynote speakers will make themselves available at lunch for informal discussions. So for the next 2 days, this is your AI community.